Welcome back to another episode of FGC Behind the Smoke podcast. Smoke. We are your podcast hosts. My name is Adamo.
And I'm Boris.
And just for people who don't know much about us, we're both career firefighters here in BC. We also run a company called Firefighters Global Consulting, where we provide consulting and coaching for aspiring firefighters with things such as resume, cover letter, interviews, ride-alongs. Basically, we can guide you through the entire process.
Yeah, we'll be doing a bit of that guiding today.
That's right. Yeah. So quickly, we'll just thank our sponsors. We want to thank Strike Recovery and Performance. They're located in Burnaby, BC. They provide RMT, chiro, and physio, and they're the best. They're the best out there. Like I've been going to them for years now, but they have a lot of experience with dealing with especially athletes and NHL players, UFC fighters, all that kind of stuff. So if you have anything that needs to be worked out, go give them a visit. Let them know that we sent you. And our other sponsor today is Concan Construction. Concan is a construction company working here in the Lower Mainland, mostly operating heavy machinery. So if anybody's looking for a job, running backhoes, excavators, anything like that, give them a shout. Go to their website, cancon.com.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, this wouldn't be possible without them, right? So huge shout out to them. So today, the topic that we're going to be going over is our competitive edge checklist.
Yeah. So if you guys are familiar with our first episode, we basically kind of went over what to consider if you want to be a firefighter and what you should do, or rather why you shouldn't be a firefighter if these are the characteristics you have.
Totally.
So today, now basically episode 2, you've decided you want to become a firefighter. Okay, well, what's the next step? What do you go from here?
Exactly.
So we'll be going over that a little bit today. And like Adamo said, that competitive edge checklist, that's our own baby, our own creation. It's just a simple little checklist for you guys to go over to basically be as competitive as you can in a fire process. And if you're looking for this, it's just going to be a PDF available online.
Yeah. So if you want a copy of this, you can email us at info@firefightersglobal.com. Just let us know that you want a copy of the competitive edge checklist, and we can send that right over to you. And another thing too is, like, I don't think people realize, who are just trying to get into this career or thinking about it, I don't think they realize how competitive it really is.
Totally. And I try to tell guys, in our process, because we got hired together, that's how we became friends and all that kind of good stuff. But like, we had, I think, 1,100 applicants, and out of those 1,100, they hired 15 of us that year.
Yeah.
So it is very competitive, and if you don't get hired that first year, the second year, they might just drop your name from the list, and you got to reapply. And
exactly. And that's why you always want to be improving your resume and looking to better yourself, to make yourself more competitive. So we're going to go over some of that stuff today.
Yeah. Before we go, Damo, are you cool with just going over a couple of things from last episode?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I just wrote it down here because I knew we'd forget. The responses we got. I know you got some responses.
Yeah. People were loving it.
Yeah. I actually, one of the best responses I got was just WTF.
So, oh yeah. Nice.
I don't know if that was good or bad, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got responses from all the way from probies all the way up to chiefs.
Yeah.
One chief told me I cuss too much, so I'm going to try to keep it down.
Yeah. I had someone tell me that too,
really?
Actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe limit the swearing.
Yeah.
You guys, we're firefighters, right?
We'll keep it clean. We'll try to at least.
No promises on that.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. The other thing is this episode will be edited, right?
Yeah.
And onwards. Francesco here, who's our podcast guru, he does a great job. So
shout out to Francesco.
Yeah, he's a man. So he'll be doing some good editing on these. So he'll be taking away our lip smack.
Yeah.
Everything else that goes in.
Our mistakes.
Yeah. Which are plenty, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So going forward, they're going to be edited. But we just wanted to bring you that first one raw, right? Live, edited, unedited. I mean,
I think it's good too, because then people kind of get a feel for us.
Yeah.
Right. And they see who we are, and
we're
not scripted or anything like that. We got some notes just so we don't forget what we want to talk about, right?
Totally.
We do have the tendency to kind of go off topic sometimes.
Totally. So yeah, these notes keep us in check because there are some like great points we want to bring across to you guys.
Totally. Yeah.
So we definitely want to hit those when we're talking. That's all this is. Otherwise, yeah, there's no script here.
Yeah.
It's
just us.
letting it rip.
Yeah. Right on. Well, do we want to dive into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm I'm thinking about becoming a firefighter. Okay, where do I go from here? What's the first thing on our list here?
Yeah. So the first thing that we have is high physical fitness level, which is huge. This is a very physically demanding job.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah. And like that's something that kind of drives me crazy, especially with new people trying to get on. Like you should not be out of shape. You should be in the best shape of your life if you're trying to get on this job.
Totally.
And another thing too is you should maintain that while you're on the job.
Yeah, which is it does get tough. Like you get that seniority a little bit. You're not training as much. Eyes aren't on you.
Yeah.
And the onus is a lot more on you to do that training and keep that physical fitness up.
But I think we owe it to the public
For sure.
to be as fit as we possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even just appearance wise, right? Like they see us and they're like, wow, these guys are really fit. Like it makes them feel good too, knowing that we're the ones coming in to potentially save them.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. It's that trust. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, people don't realize how physically demanding it is. Like we talked about it a little bit last episode, but I've had family and friends come over and try on the gear and like, holy crap, this is heavy stuff. It's like, yeah, this is without any tools, without any hose,
without a pack on.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
yeah.
You are just wearing the bunker gear right now.
Yeah. I wonder what the weight is when you have everything on, like high rise pack, your tools.
I mean, you're 250 or 200 pounds plus yourself, right?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Thanks for calling me 250. I'm not 250. Thanks, buddy.
That's me, man.
You just added 25 pounds onto me.
I'm actually bulking right now. I got a bunch of eggnog in this mug right now.
Any rum in there?
No, I should have. I had a whole bottle of whiskey at home just waiting, but no, because I'll be going to Australia for Christmas, and
nice.
My wife's like, obviously she's Australian, and she's like, yeah, we don't really do eggnog over there.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's hot, right?
Yeah.
It's not really.
That's
like,
right. It's their summertime.
Yeah. So, oh, okay. So you have eggnog, but you don't really drink it. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna egg max right now.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
there you go.
Just crushing it.
I love a rum and eggnog this time of the year.
Yeah.
Christmas time. Oh, it's the best.
It is the best. But yeah, heavy. I don't know. I want to say back to the point.
Yeah, we're going off topic again. Sorry, guys.
Back to the point. I would say like you're 300 pounds plus with all the gear.
Yeah.
If you're about like a 200-pound firefighter, 185 to 200 is pretty standard, I would say, for a firefighter.
Yeah.
Right. So with all the gear, you're pushing 300 plus easy.
For sure. Yeah, and that's it's very physically demanding, right? Like when you're in a fire, it's hot. You're in gear that kind of limits your mobility too.
For sure.
Right. So you have to be fit. Like there's no excuse for you to be out of shape.
Yeah, and
especially when you're trying to get on.
Totally, and that's kind of why we have it as the number one thing, because it takes time. You can't just be have high fitness level right off the bat. You have to train for it. You have to. If you're thinking about being a firefighter right now, get into that high physical fitness right away.
Yeah, it's not like it's a first aid course that you can just take over a weekend and then you're good to go. Like this is this, especially if you're really out of shape. Like it's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we always love a good comeback story. Somebody starts off not in the best shape, but this is what they want. Then they.
Well, we did have a client that did the physical for a department and didn't pass it. And it was a total wake up call. And he ended up losing like 30 pounds and really took it seriously. And then 6 or 7 months later, got invited back for a physical and he actually just got hired.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah. And that is a common story. It's nice. It's good to see guys taking it seriously and doing what needs to be done.
Totally. Yeah.
That's great.
Totally. So physical fitness, huge. Next on our list is a clean driving record, which I think a lot of people probably don't even think about, eh?
And again, it's one of those things that once you're applying and you get denied, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
Right. Too little, too late. It's like, oh, I should have, been smart about this 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When I got these points.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And don't get any DUIs or anything like that, because that will screw you.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like we want people who are responsible. We're trying to protect people, not put them in harm's way.
Exactly.
DUIs.
And we're held to a higher standard, right? Because of the position that we're in. So, I mean, if you're out drinking and driving, you might as well just not consider this career at all.
Yeah, totally. clean. That kind of goes into the next one. Clean police background check. Uh, in this job, before you can actually take on a role as a firefighter, you're on that trust position. You're going into people's homes. You're going to be, around kids, around the elderly, around vulnerable people. Uh, we want to make sure we have the good people in
Totally,
that. So,
totally. You're in a like you said, you're in a high position of trust,
mhm.
right? And if you're doing sketchy stuff and getting in trouble with the police, and we don't want you.
Yeah, and it's very easy to screw that up. I know there's been guys seen on social media in not the most flattering areas or with the most flattering people,
Yeah,
that are known to police, and that can cut you right there.
totally, 100%. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then next on our checklist is eligible for employment. And so for people, because we had somebody say that they weren't, we're like, what do you mean you're not eligible for employment? So what we mean by that is you have to be like a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, right?
Yeah, and it's the same. I mean, Firefighters Global, we advise guys in the US, Australia, UK as well.
Yeah,
But for- yeah, you will have to be a citizen or permanent resident of that country, know the laws of that country.
yeah,
They might be different in different places, obviously, but yeah, we've received applications from guys in like Dubai, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be a you know Canadian firefighter." It's like, well, that's great, but
yeah.
first you got to
Good
get
luck.
over here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and yeah, people don't think about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a huge one. And then so those are kind of the bare minimum of what you need to even just kind of start this process.
Yeah, if you don't have any of those things, start working on them ASAP.
Yeah,
And then from there, you're basically going into required qualifications. This is where your actual fire training comes in. This is what they're going to be looking for on your resume.
exactly. And this is the required qualifications are a minimum, right? So this is like the bare minimum to submit your application, right? So we'll go over that. So you have to have your NFPA 1001 and 1072. So that's your fire academy
Yeah.
and your hazmat training.
So yeah, NFPA, for anyone who doesn't know what that stands for, it's National Fire Protection Association. Yeah, basically your bread and butter for
Exactly, yeah.
firefighting.
And there's a lot of schools out there that provide this course. Take a look and see which one works best for you, right?
Yeah, some are hands-on, some are more computer-based,
Yeah,
some are 3 weeks, some are 3 months.
yeah,
You kind of have to see what works for you and your family.
exactly. And like right now, the fire medics is a huge one.
Hmm.
And they're based out in Surrey, and we've had quite a few clients go to them and had a lot of good things to say. So
Yeah, there's tons out there. Just see which one's good for you, and yeah, like we said, and go from there.
yeah, and just so everyone knows too, right? Like it's not cheap either. So
Yeah.
you're looking at about 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
all things considering, it's a law degrees like 200,000 if some places. So
Yeah,
if you want an education and a good job, 15,000, like yeah, totally. Like Adamo said, like you got to be ready to drop that money.
yeah,
But look at it in a positive way. It's a lot less than what some other educations cost out there.
absolutely, yeah. And then going from there, you have to have your class 3 driver's license. So that allows you to drive the fire truck. So every department's different, but most departments you're not going to be driving right away,
Mhm.
right? It's usually 4 to 6 years before you start driving, but they still want you to have that as a prerequisite.
Yeah. It's just a lot easier to teach somebody about air brakes, about the whole system if you
Yeah.
already have the certification.
Yeah, and for those listening, if you want our opinion on any schools or anything like that, just email us and we can provide those resources
Hmm.
for you.
Yeah, always happy to help. And that's what we're doing for some of our clients as well. Anything they've checked off that they don't have or that they left blank, we're basically just sending them the info.
Yeah,
And again, this is free. This is going to be a PDF available online, or just shoot us a message and we'll send it your way.
exactly. Yeah. So going from there, you're going to need your medical license. So this is basically a high level of first aid. The minimum is your FR, which is your first responder license. I think down in the States they call it their EMT.
EMT, yeah, emergency medical technician. It is yeah, it is a required qualification to apply.
Yeah, because probably 70% of the calls that we go on are medical calls.
Yeah,
And
at
we're
least.
usually the first to show up too before ambulance. So, and some departments, the ambulance is actually incorporated with their fire department.
Yeah, exactly. It depends what country. Again, U.S. is a little bit different. They're amalgamated, so you could be on a fire truck one day and on a aid truck another.
Yeah,
But yeah, everybody needs to have that level of medical experience because, like Adamo said, we could be the first on scene and the person might not have a pulse, and we could be working on them for half an hour before an ambulance gets there.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then so FR and EMT are kind of on um, the introduction end of it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And
You
then
can only go higher from there.
exactly, yeah. So like we recommend people get their EMR.
Yeah.
That's like the next level up, and a lot of departments in Canada specifically are actually transitioning over to EMR. So if you want your resume to stick out a bit, I would just probably go right for EMR.
Yeah, I mean, same with in the States, for example, like get your advanced DMT and go from there as well.
Yeah,
It does not hurt you in any way to have a higher medical standard than what is required.
exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. So then next on our list, we have adequate post-secondary credits or schooling. So this is like you can get credits kind of in any type of post-secondary schooling,
Yeah,
right?
I got like 10 points for playing the saxophone.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So that was useful.
You can serenade us later.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, you could get it in literally anything, but
Yeah.
you want it to be kind of, if possible, to be
Tailored towards
yeah,
trades is a
applicable.
big one. Like
Yeah.
I always recommend trades because
Totally.
like it's a very mechanically inclined kind of job that we have. Like we're working with tools and you got to understand building construction and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Pumps. So I always recommend to people to get into a trade or at least have some sort of experience in construction,
Yeah.
right?
Anything, even if you're just digging ditches, you have to be aware of gas lines, you have to use some tools.
Yeah,
It's anything helps.
totally.
So,
And it also shows that you can work hard physically.
yeah, and in the elements,
Exactly.
which
Yeah,
is what we do in the fire service. Where
exactly.
rain or shine, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely good point. From there, we go kind of more towards preferred qualifications. So sorry for that, post-secondary credits. So what we're saying there is some departments will have, 30 credit requirement to join
Yeah.
join their department. So you have to look at their website, look at the department you're applying for, and see how many credits you need because that might be something that you have to upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And some departments actually count your fire academy training as like 20 credits or whatever it is too, right? So
Mhm.
if you are missing the credits and you get your NFPA 1001, then you only really need another 10 credits potentially.
Totally.
But that is depending on department. So
Yeah.
like Boris said, like you have to go onto their website, check out what their requirements are because it's different for a lot of departments.
Yeah, and that should be also one of like the very first things you do. Like, okay, I want to be a firefighter. Okay, where am I going to apply?
Yeah.
And look at the cities, look at what they require, and then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then from there, so those are kind of the required qualifications, mostly required qualifications, what you'll see in most fire departments. And from there, we go into the preferred qualifications. So this is something that most fire departments don't require, but they will be looking hard whether you have these or not.
Yeah, and I would say once you have the required qualifications, you should start working towards the preferred qualifications because it's going to make you that much better and more competitive, right? And
Totally.
also you're going to gain a lot of knowledge and skills from these preferred qualifications. That's going to make you a better firefighter when
Yeah.
you do get hired.
Yeah, because then you won't have to worry about the small stuff. You can focus on the big things that you got to learn because, yeah, those first 6 months, a year as a probationer, like there's a lot of information thrown your way.
Oh yeah, tons.
And if you can already know most of it or some of it, that's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are with the first preferred qualifications we put on here, which is previous firefighting experience.
Yeah, so for people listening, when we talk about previous firefighting experience, it can be volunteer, paid on call. You can be an industrial firefighter. Like there's a lot of different avenues for you to go down to get
Hmm.
that preferred qualification. Um, there's a lot of cities out there that have their own volunteer fire departments, right? And here in BC, we do have work experience programs.
Yep. Basically, what that is you'll go basically sign a contract with a volunteer department that you're going to be their member for 6 months to a year. You sleep at the hall, you eat at the hall, and you serve that community.
Yeah,
And it's a great way to do it. I feel like because you're living in the culture essentially.
100%. Yeah,
And some other avenues as well. We have wildland firefighting. If you worked at an airport as an airport firefighter, uh, great things to also have on your resume
yeah,
going into structural or career firefighting.
totally. Yeah. And then we also have like if you've had a military service, because the fire department is a paramilitary structure. We talked about in our first episode about the chain of command and stuff like that. So if you have military, which Boris does have, how long were you in the military for again?
I was on and off about 10 years.
Yeah. So you can talk to this obviously a lot better than I can.
But no, you're absolutely right. It's a paramilitary organization. We have a rank structure. We drill. Yeah, it's a good thing to have for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And you were saying trades, that's on here, which is, yeah, you already mentioned that. It's great to have building construction.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and Adamo here, he's a trades guy.
Yeah, I was a plumber before getting on.
Yeah.
And it's that helped a lot, right? Just
Yeah.
understanding pumps and hoses and all this kind of stuff. I feel like it really gave me a leg up on understanding that just by having that trade background,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's awesome. And like looking at this checklist, you and I, we can probably check off every single thing
Yeah,
on here, which is what you have to do to even be competitive.
exactly.
You're not guaranteed a job at this point either.
Exactly.
So yeah, work hard, get these things done. What do we got next here? Medical work history. So yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
Same as-
if you've worked as like a paramedic or a first aid attendant or anything like that, right?
yeah, previous medical experience essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the next thing. Higher level medical training, higher level driving. Another thing.
Yeah. So if you have your class 1 instead of your class 3, that's obviously beneficial because it gives you like an extra leg up, right?
Yeah. Honestly, even having like a motorcycle license, like I've been to calls where, somebody got hit on a motorcycle and we had to take that motorcycle back to the hall until
Yeah.
they could pick it up. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I have a motorcycle license. I'll try.
That's sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, where the hell is Boris?
Yeah.
Ripping on this guy's motorcycle.
yeah, right into the wall. I'm the next call. They
Yeah.
get to. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, any kind of, a pilot driver's license or a flying license, I guess would be called.
Yep.
Any of that stuff.
Like boating license
Yeah.
too.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know some departments have had that as their preferred qualification as well.
Nice. And I mean, our department has fireboats, so
Yeah.
it transfers over.
Totally.
What do we have next here? Heavy equipment operating. Did you want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, so for heavy equipment operating, like it's not something that everybody can just get into, right? You gotta have some experience, or you can take a course in it.
Yeah.
But it does kind of show that you have confidence operating big machinery, right?
Yeah.
So if you do have the opportunity, highly recommend it. Even if you have like, if you live near a farm or something and you go to them and say, hey, can I help you out driving your tractor around baling hay once
Yeah.
a week or something like that? Like that would count as experience.
For sure. And that's a very good point actually, because we've had clients go to us and be like, I have no tool knowledge. Like what do I do? It's like go to
Yeah.
Home Depot and rent a chainsaw
Yeah,
and play around with it and
Yeah.
figure it out,
exactly. Wear chaps though, so you don't cut yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta ask for a waiver before I give them any advice.
Yeah.
But yeah. Next on here we got swimming or climbing accolades. So, I used to play water polo as a kid. I love swimming. Yeah, being around water is important, right? Guys get swift water certs and
Yeah, that's a good
Rescue.
one actually. Swiftwater rescue. That's a good one to have.
yeah, climbing accolades. Obviously, not being afraid of heights.
Yeah.
knowing how to use ropes.
Yeah.
It's great to have.
Like all this stuff translates directly into the fire service.
Yeah, I think that's why I love the fire service too. Is like anything you've done in your life can somehow translate into the fire service.
Totally. Yeah.
Uh, building construction knowledge, we touched on that already.
Yeah.
Even if you're just like a not just, but like if you are a home inspector, another great thing to have
Yeah.
because you're not necessarily working with the tools inside a building, but
But you understand the layout of a building, the construction,
yeah,
the building code,
yeah,
right?
architects, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Any additional fire related courses? So we touched on this a little bit: swift water rescue, confined space, high angle rescue,
Yeah.
anything you can think of, right?
And there's a lot of different fire related courses that you can take. Just Google fire related courses and there's like a list of probably like 20 different courses that you could take.
Yeah. And I mean, make it personal. Like, don't just take a course because it's there and you can do it. Take a course that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Like if I'm afraid of heights, maybe I want to take some kind of high angle rescue course and beat that out of myself.
Yeah.
So it just makes me a better candidate.
Yeah, exactly. And also you're going to do well in it too if it's something that you enjoy,
Totally.
right? So,
Yeah. Good point. After that, we got computer and software skills.
which
So,
I do not have at all.
so we got Francesco here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the old praying mantis typing.
Yeah, that's me. The amount of times I've had to call Boris for like little computer stuff, and he's like, "Oh my God."
It makes me feel so good. Don't worry, if I clog my toilet, though,
Yeah.
man, I'll feel like
I'll show up.
I'll feel so useless. Like, Dom will help. But yeah, Microsoft Office, Google Drive, like there's so much software out there now. Like,
And we do use computers at work,
yeah,
right? Like we have to write reports and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, right? That's all done on the computer.
yeah, and it's only going to be more prevalent as time goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely get into it now. Then we go down to preferred qualifications, education.
Yeah, so we touched on post-secondary.
Yeah.
But another thing too is if you speak another language, that's definitely a big check mark, right? Especially here in BC, we have a lot of different ethnicities, a lot of diversity. So if you can speak another language fluently, like that's definitely a big asset.
Yeah, and if you know where you're kind of applying which department, that might also help you. If I'm
Yeah.
applying for a department in Florida or Southern California, maybe I want to talk, speak a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
If I'm applying somewhere and, it's a big Greek population, maybe I want to just have conversational Greek. So,
Yeah.
because it is a
exactly.
customer service job, right?
Absolutely.
Don't forget American Sign Language. That's technically a language.
Yeah, that's a big one actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I just know thank you.
Yeah.
It's good now we have the camera, so I can just.
Yeah.
I think it's like this. I was so much better with some of these. I was doing like beginning Mandarin and beginner Farsi and a bunch of other ones. I was trying to do when I was applying to become a firefighter. I had like 5 different languages doing like my medical assessment in 5 different languages.
Really?
Yeah, and
Holy
I
crap.
like memorized it. I'm like, okay, like pain 1 to 10 in Chinese,
Wow.
and it's all gone.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
If you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah, and that's what we talked about before too, is like keeping up your skills, right? It's just so easy to lose some of these things.
Yeah, yeah. I got the Duolingo app right now because I'm trying to learn Italian, but
Nice.
I've been paying for it and I haven't really used it much. So
Good for them.
so
though.
thanks. Yeah, yeah. So thanks for reminding me about that. Actually, I gotta cancel that.
Just hemorrhaging money, don't know why. But yeah, definitely good to have. Public education, public speaking or equivalent. Yeah, we do a lot of public education. Kids come
Yep.
by from schools, we talk to them. I mean, when we're on a medical call, we're speaking with people, trying to understand their pain.
Yeah, like Boris said earlier, like it is a customer service job, right? So you have to be comfortable speaking to people. So if you're somebody who's nervous about speaking, you can take like a public speaking course. It's definitely a huge part of our job is just engaging with the public.
Absolutely. And doing it well. Like I've seen some firefighters engage with the public, and it's not good. I mean, we've been guilty of it too, but
Yeah. I
y-
think everyone, everyone's got their days, right? But
yeah, but yeah, you want to give that the best customer service you can. You can't be frustrated. You want to be able to speak well publicly.
yeah,
Absolutely. Next, we have education/care involving children, elderly, or other vulnerable populations.
yeah,
So we touched on that as well. Just being in that trust role,
yeah,
and the way you speak to a child is a little bit different than how you speak to a 80-year-old, veteran or
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
plumber who's been around for years. So yeah, just having any kind of certifications in education, even volunteering in that aspect is really good to have.
yeah. Like you talk about vulnerable populations, right? Like
Yeah.
you can volunteer at a food bank or something like that, and kind of get to know the people there, right? And it definitely helps out having that perspective beforehand,
Yeah.
right? So that way, when you do get hired, you do feel comfortable around different people,
Yeah.
right?
That's a great point. Preferred qualifications, volunteering.
Yeah, volunteering's huge. So for people who don't know, as firefighters, we give a lot of our time back,
Hmm.
right? Off the job. So most fire departments have their own charitable society where, they do boot drives and, a bunch of different charities. So, it's kind of expected that, like, yeah, okay, you got on the job now and, it's awesome, but you are still expected to volunteer on your days off and help out, right?
Hmm.
Like, you should be getting into this career because you want to help people,
Yeah.
right? So, giving back our time on our days off is still part of this job.
Totally. It's a no-brainer. And we get it. If you live 2 hours away from where you work, you don't have to come into the city and volunteer. You can do it in your own community, whatever it is that's close to your heart. But yeah, just keep giving back.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people too. I'm like, don't just volunteer for the sake of volunteering.
Hmm.
Like, find something that means something to you, right?
Yeah.
And volunteer for that. Don't just like volunteer for, like, chipping up Christmas trees or something like that just because it's going to look good on your resume. Volunteer for something that means something to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only is it better, for your mental health and just for the world for you to volunteer for something that you care about, but this might come up in your interview. They're like, why is wood chipping Christmas trees close to your heart?
Yeah.
Obviously you've been doing it for 4 years. So,
Yeah.
and then you're just like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
melting in the interview chair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Adamo said, have these things be close to your heart because yeah, it's the right thing to do. So yeah, the next one we have on here is the sports accolades.
Yeah, which is huge because, like we talked about in our first episode, firefighting is such a team um, job,
Yeah.
right? And also a very physical job. So if you've played for sports teams at a high level, it shows your physical fitness and it shows that you can work with a team well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can be in individual sports like tennis, and that's fine. You may not have that team aspect, but you have that physical fitness accolade, which we look for.
For sure, yeah. But you know what? Even like individual sports, there's a bit of a team
Yeah.
behind you still, right? Like you have your coaches and your trainers and, people that you practice with, right? So you still have that team with you. So
Yeah.
just because you play like a solo sport doesn't necessarily mean you're not a team person, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great point because you need to recognize that as well. If it comes to that question in your interview, because like you said, it is a team sport.
Yeah.
You have to have that humility that you're not the star, you're not the number one person on that team just because you're on the court
Yeah.
where you're in the boxing ring or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a great point. Outside the box certificates, so that's having mental health certificates, animal care. We have batteries on there. That's kind of more like because we have electric cars now and
Yeah.
more lithium ion batteries and things like that. Why not have a safety course on lithium batteries?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Small business owner, developer, community leader. So again, just seeing initiative,
Yeah.
drive, all that good stuff. Miscellaneous tool use through hobbies, woodcraft, pottery. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like if you've built a shed at your house or whatever, anything like that, right? Where you can talk about your use of tools, and like Boris said too, like hobbies, right? Like woodcraft and finishing carpentry and
yeah.
whatever, all that kind of stuff, right?
We can even try the pottery thing together with
Yeah.
the ghost thing.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Relatable hobbies, interests, or interesting interview topics. So again,
Like
just
traveling
yeah,
would be
I was
one.
gonna say yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people who actually worked during their travels to make extra money.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, doing things like climbing up banana trees and cutting those down, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is, and it also kind of shows life experience too, right?
Yeah,
Like you've seen the world a bit, you've experienced different cultures, you've worked different jobs, right? So yeah, traveling is definitely a big one.
yeah, great to have on there. So yeah, that's kind of our list. Like we said, this will be available for free. Just give us a shout and we'll send you a PDF. We'll try to figure out where we can maybe put a link for it or something.
Maybe just on our website.
Yeah, that'd be
So
good. So again, neither one of us can do that, so we'll look to
yeah,
Jessica to
yeah,
get
yeah. Right on. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. If you want to follow us on social media, it's at Firefighters Global. If you want to check out our website, just go to firefightersglobal.com. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, send it our way, and we'll let you
Yes.
know when we're gonna answer those.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we are gonna have an episode here very soon with a little Q&A
Yeah, because we actually did get quite a few questions submitted. So
off the first episode.
yeah,
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
smoke. Okay.
thanks. Behind the smoke.